Oh yeah. Okay. So now recording in progress.
Oh, okay. Thank
Yeah.
you.
Welcome.
Mhm.
Okay. Are we all ready?
Yes. Is everyone here?
Okay. Very good morning to all students. Thank you for being able to be in this meeting. This
Mhm.
is our second class online. And we are hoping that to get a good news from the university in the coming future, to allow students to come to university to do your continue to do your research work. But as I said, you have to wait the signal from the university. And I think you all I've been in touch with the university's information center. For the postgraduate, they do have a link. I think last 2 weeks I remind you all to put yourself in the link, or to get to know to the link, so that any new information you are being you will be able to update your information with regards to regulation, and also when the university will be open and whatnot. If and only if the university extend not allowing student from entering university, then our online class, we have to continue our online class. Yeah, so I will update you all regarding this thing once I get the news or the instruction from the universities. I was made understand that at the moment there are no more students in the university, undergraduate students. Am I right? UKM, UPM, all students have been sent home. So maybe the postgraduate students, the number is small, staying in college. Yeah, maybe college Muhammad Rashid, along the main road. That one is foreign student can rent the room there. So as far as undergraduate is concerned, I don't think there are any more in the college. Yeah. So you all are okay, yeah?
Mhm.
Iza?
Okay.
Iza duduk mana, Iza?
Sedang.
You say mana kat rumah? Oh, you're Sedang. Moon? Sedang also.
Mun Kedah.
Now you're in Kedah.
Mun Kedah.
Telecast from Kedah. Kedah, okay.
Jitra.
Mahinda, you are in South City. Mahinda?
He's mute.
Oh, it's mute.
Hello, good morning, Professor.
Uh,
Hello,
Morning. Where do you stay now?
Sudan, South City.
South City.
South City, okay.
Yes,
Ahmad also South City.
No, sir. It's Sri Kembangan.
Oh, Sri Kembangan. The user ni siapa ni? User ni Novi. Novi
Okay.
Sedang.
Taman Sri Serdang.
Oh, Taman Sri Sedang. Emily?
Yeah.
Emilia? Where do you stay?
Yeah, I'm in the 360.
Okay.
Mhm.
So everybody is okay?
Okay.
Good shape? Happy?
Yeah.
Physically, mentally happy?
I miss more.
All right. Okay. Today for class today we'll be discussing another topic. The so-called the technical assistant approach. Yeah.
Mhm.
This approach is very popular. It's very popular approach. I would say 90% of the approach to develop the community throughout the globe is using this approach, technical assistant approach. It's
Mhm.
everywhere. Yeah, this approach is everywhere. You just walk out from your house. Uh, I mean, if you are stay in your village, your own
Mhm.
home country, if you just walk out from your house and you go visit a farm, any farm or orchard or small estate, it is about this technical assistant approach.
Mhm.
Even if you the place that you are staying now, yeah, if you walk out and then you see some activities
Mhm.
being carried out by the agencies to
Mhm.
certain community, then that is technical assistant approach. For example, those who engage with extension services, those are doing a PhD in extension.
Mhm.
For example, Mahinda, Moon, Moon or Iza, ada confused lah. Which
Moon, sir.
extension?
Moon.
Moon. So extension services mainly are dealing with this technical assistant approach. Mainly, yeah. You have your plot demonstration. For example, you have what do you call visiting. You will have this training and visiting program whereby you bring your clients, yeah, your peasant to the field or to the other side to learn how those people in that side practicing uh, new technology, for example. Yeah,
Mhm.
that is also related to technical assistant approach. Okay,
Mhm.
so there are many more to say, but let's hear from our friends to her presentation today. What is technical assistant approach? Okay,
Okay.
I would like to call upon Emily to present.
Okay. Good morning, everyone.
Morning.
Today I want to do the presentation of the technical assistant approach. It is one of the popular approach in community development. As I know, there are three um, approaches. One is self-help. The second one is technical assistance, and the third one is conflict. And today we talk about the technical assistance. After my presentation, I hope everyone can have the behavior objectives is first one is define the technical assistance in simple terms. The second one is know the basic assumptions of technical assistance. The third one is describe the difference between the self-help approach, the technical assistance approach, and the conflict approach. The fourth one is know the two types of technical assistance and describe the differences between the non-developmental and developmental approaches to plan change. The last one, I hope you can describe how technical assistance can be used in a community. Now let's start today's presentation. First one, let's see what is technical assistance. Technical assistance intends to help communities define their problems, needs, and potential solutions. It is broadly defined as the provision of programs, activities, and services to strengthen the capacity of recipients to improve their performance with respect to an inherent or assigned function. This is the definition of the technical assistance, but there are many definitions of it. It is the only one. We also can find other definitions. This one, it said that the technical assistance, the common elements is capacity building, quality. The second one is quality implementation. The third one is quality improvement. It is the three common elements of technical assistance. And also the key ingredient of technical assistance is the application of expertise to aid the recipient. Okay, after this, we know a little about the technical assistance, and we can use TA to represent the technical assistance. Now let's see the assumption of this approach. The first assumption is all situations can be analyzed objectively, and that bad decisions are frequently a result of poor planning. It assumes that we always have scientific methods, advanced technology, and rational planning in the decision-making process. This is the two assumptions of the technical assistance approach. And then let's see the basic assumptions of technical assistance. It is the application of this it is the process of the application of this approach. The first one is someone knows something about the issues that another doesn't know. This is the expertise. The expertise know more about the issues than others. Second one is someone decides that the potential recipient needs assistance. It is the expertise knows the needs of recipient. Then the expertise can help the recipient better. The third assumption is a provider-recipient relationship can be established. It means the provider and recipient, they can build a good relationship. The fourth one is the provider provides and the receiver receives. Then the provider can help the receiver to solve the problem and do the change in the community development. Now let's see the comparisons of technical assistance, self-help, and conflict approaches. Let's see as the first one is the image of society. As for self-help approach, it is the image of society is dehumanized, and the second one is mechanical. This is the image of self-help. As for technical assistance, the image of society is bureaucratic, and also the organizations with authority figures. And as for conflict, the image of society is the group constantly struggle to maintain or add to their power base. Now let's see the image of individual. As for self-help, the people are inherently good, but goodness is suppressed. As for technical assistance, it is system defined. The individual, the players and roles, they have players and they have their own roles. The expertise have their roles, and the recipient also have their roles. And as for conflict, the image of individual is oppressed. Let's see the assumption examples. As for self-help, people have the right and ability to identify and solve collective problems. As for technical assistance, science provides means to solve problems. And as for conflict, power is the most basic of all resources. And let's see the core problems to be addressed. As for self-help, the capacity of people to take collective action. And as for technical assistance, capacity to use science to solve human problems. As for conflict, it is they should concentrate of power in the hands of a few persons. The last one, we can see their difference in the examples of action goals. As for self-help, their goals are community capacity building. As for technical assistance, their goals are technical problem solving. As for conflict approach, their goals are redistribution of power. These five factors, we can see the difference between self-help technical assistance, and the conflict. Next one, let's see the types of technical assistance. There are two types of technical assistance. First one is use the power actors to achieve goals. This type is suitable for the non-developmental community development. And the second one is as a strategy used by consultants and volunteer leaders as developmental activities. This one is suitable for developmental community activities. Now let's see it in detail. Use of power actors to achieve goals. This one, first is legislation, having the powers to create, legislate, and appropriate. The second one is administration. They have the power to manipulate resources, knowledge, and information. Also, have the education. They have the knowledge, skills, and processes of visualize the nature associated with educational and research institutions. The fourth one is collaborators, creating mechanism, often maturely for the specified purpose of providing or enhancing technical assistance in the recipient domain. And the last one is consultants. It's generally performing specific tasks by private consultants. This is the first type of technical assistance is suitable for non-developmental community development. The second one is as a strategy used by consultants or volunteer leaders as developmental activity. First one is impulses. They should have trust on the recipient unilaterally from the outside. It is the recipient. If they trust the expertise, then they can build a good relationship, and the expertise can help the recipient to build their community. The second one is negotiated. It's reached by the mutual consent. It's from the both sides, the expertise and the recipient. It's from the both sides. The third one is most importantly, it is a community activities initiated by those who think that there is such a need. And the expertise think the recipient needs a need, then they can help the recipient to meet their needs. We mentioned that there are non-developmental community activity and developmental community approach in the technical assistance. Now let's see the difference of them. As for non-developmental approach, this is the agency decides whatever it thinks people need to do for their own good. These decisions become the agency's goal for people. It means that the agency will provide whatever staff, equipment, premises, and programs it thinks are needed to meet the needs or interests of people, and the services or activities it provides will help. It means that the agency only it provides everything to help the recipient to to um, to achieve their goals. Just provide the staff, equipment, and the programs to meet their needs. This is the non-developmental approach. As for developmental approach, is community development is the shared decision by community residents to initiate a plan change process. It seems that as for developmental approach, it is the expertise and the recipients build their community together. They have shared decision and they negotiated and they negotiated together. That's their difference. Now let's see the strategies of implementation. The strategy of implementation includes 5 parts. The first part is the preparation for technical assistance. The second one is the technical assistance plan. The third one is technical assistance implementation. The fourth one is technical assistance evaluation. The fifth one is sustainability of technical assistance for facilitate change. Let's see the first one. It's the preparation for technical assistance. When we prepare a technical assistance, first we should assess the needs. Only we assess the people's needs, then we can meet their needs and address what they need. The second one is the decision making. And after we know what they need, then make the decision of how to achieve the goals, how to meet their needs. And the third one is visioning. It is after the technical assistance, what is the community will look like, how it works. The fourth one is readiness for change. Readiness for change is as for recipients, they should accept the expertise, advice, and they are ready to change. Then we can do the technical assistance for them. The fifth one is organizational capacity. As for the organizational capacity, it is the ability of an organization to commit the human, program, and other resources needed for a program, organization, or system change to produce desired practice. Now let's see the technical assistance plan. When we have the plan, first we should have goals and objectives. It includes the short-term objectives and long-term goals. And the second one is the intervention practice. As for the intervention practice, the particular evidence-based intervention practice or best practice identified to produce desired program, organizational, and system change. Third one is fit assessment. Is determining how well the target intervention practice is fit the axis, the assessment the people need we assessed before. The first one is logic model or theory of change. It is the description or graphic representation of relationship between desired programs and the act. The fifth one is technical assistance resources. The resources made available to provide the program staff to improve themselves to achieve what they need. The sixth one, the staff roles and responsibilities. They should have their own roles and responsibilities. As for the expertise, they have their roles to help the recipients build their community. And the recipients, they have their roles to co-work with the expertise to support their work, build a good relationship, then they can build their community together. As for the technical assistance implementation, the first one is the technical assistance provider credibility. As for expertise, they should let the recipient trust them. Then they can implement some steps. The first one is trust them and build the good relationship. Second one is the professional development. The professional development is build and strengthen staff, program, organizations, and the systems of capacity to use the target to build the staff, program, organizations. The third one is coaching and mentoring. It is as for the expertise, they provide some strategies or some ways to help the recipients to strengthen their capacity, and also mentoring to guide them. The fourth one is consultation. Consultation is as for the process of the implementation. We should tailor the response of individual staff to make sure to make sure we can adjust their implementation to achieve their targets before, to adjust the implementation. The fifth one is technical assistance provider support or feedback. It is after the accomplishment, we can have some advice or feedback, and then next time we can achieve our objectives or goals of the plan eventually. Now let's see the technical assistance evaluation. First one, we should evaluate the process. The whole process is the method for determining if the practice, activities, or interventions specified were implemented as planned and resulted in identifiable output. And second one is outcome evaluation. As it said, it is outcome evaluation to see whether we achieve the outcome we make the plan before. The third one is fidelity of use of intervention practice. It is extent to which the key characteristics of targeted practice that are focus of technical assistance were implemented in a manner in which they were designed to be used or delivered. Fourth one is fidelity of use of technical assistance practice. It is which the core elements of technical assistance were used as intent and in a constant manner when the program staff responsible for use of intervention practice consulting the focus of technical assistance. It is the outcome should consistent with the goals before. The last one is lessons learned. It is the knowledge from the use of technical assistance to promote staff use the target planned before. As for the recipient, if they are learned some lessons from expertise this time, they can use it in their community development in the future. It is a kind of developmental community development. The last one, we should evaluate the sustainable of technical assistance facilitated change. The first one is capacity sustaining activities. The program, organization, or system resources, activities, and professional support that are used to sustain or maintain the change that have been put into place as a result of technical assistance related practice. They should have the program, organization, and system resource They should have the capacity sustaining. The second one is continuous quality improvement. The process used to ensure ongoing improvement in a program, organization, or system that will focus on technical assistance. The third one is ongoing technical assistance provider support. Procedures used to provide either or both informal and formal technical assistance support to program staff after the completion of technical assistance related activities. The fourth one is follow-up activities. Planned activities used to provide program staff opportunities to share concerns and accomplishments and to obtain input, feedback, suggestions, and so on from technical assistance provider. Only they have the feedback, the recipients have the feedback and suggestions from the provider. After the expertise leave, they can still build their community better. Okay, that is the a brief introduction of the technical intelligence approach. It is one of the popular approach in community development, and I hope that my presentation helped you a little to understand this kind of approach in community development. And if you have some questions, we can talk it together. Does anyone have some questions?
Okay, thank you, Emily,
Mm-hmm.
for your presentation.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, all right. Any question to Emily? Yes, Amar.
Iza. I just want to ask about the capacity sustaining. Capacity.
Which one?
After that. The sustainability. That one. The
Mm-hmm.
first one. The capacity sustaining.
Oh, as for the capacity sustaining, it is after the expertise leave, the community they should have some informal and formal
What is
the
form?
programs, organizations, and the system resource activities and professional support are used to sustain or maintain the change that that they have been put before.
Also want to maintain the activities that have been done. Is it correct?
Can I say it again?
It is means that it want to sustain the activities that have been done. Right.
Yes. Mhm.
Okay.
Okay, there is one question posed by Amma. Can you respond to that?
Let me see. And what approach can be the only option in practice, and what can you say that it is impossible for community to be the only method? Can be the only option. I think it's in a community development. Um, there will exist the three kinds of developing approach at the same time they can exist. But some situations is suitable for technical assistance, and some situation is suitable for other kinds of approaches, such as self-help or conflict approach. And I think the technical assistance is suitable for the some how to say that is suitable for the we can make the some we can make the actions for the procedures, and then we can make procedures of it. Then it can save the cost or save the time or some other things. It's in this kind of situation we can use technical assistance. Mhm.
Okay, Emily, thank
Okay.
you.
Okay. Now, as for Moon's question, do you think the staff of provider also should have capacity building in themselves during using the technical approach, for example, to determine and customize the people skills that the building needed? Provider also have to build contact during using system. I think as for the providers, actually, we have the assumption that they have the better knowledge than the recipient. They know more about the issues. And when they are building the community, I think if they need to learn something, they can communicate it together to learn how to build their community better. Okay, this is the question in more. As for this, is from novice question. You give an example. What are the activities that's possible to be done by applying this technical assistance approach? What other activities are possible? Let me.
She want to know what kind of activity
Uh-huh.
that this technical assistant approach can be applied.
Uh-huh. Let me see. I think as I take an example is as for the psychological problem, if we have if some people in the community they have some psychological problems, if we use the simple approach like the self-help approach is we ask them one by one, face to face, and ask them. And if we use the technical assistance, and we can use some technology, just like the online questionnaire or online analysis. And if we use this scientific method to solve the psychological problems, then we can save the time, and we can make the output the more correct. It's an example.
Okay.
Mhm.
Is there any more question? This question from Mahinda. Most of the government organization are not conducting PRA, participant rural appraisal, to preparation. Is it effect to the sustainability of this approach? Okay. So you know what is PRA?
No.
No.
PRA is a terminology. We call PRA is participatory rural appraisal. It's not approach. Appraisal means you when you want to do things, when we want to make change. I'm referring to the agency. Yeah, when the agency want to make change on the people. Well, there are so many ways the agency can do that. They can just simply introduce the program and ask the people to participate in that program. But some before they introduce the program, they make some assessment, a rapid assessment on the people. That is what we call participatory rural appraisal. Normally, the development takes place in the rural area, so it becomes participatory rural appraisal. What they do here is to understand the people, to know the people, to ask the people what are their needs, what are their problems, and to have a quick look on the capacity of the people. And from that information, a very quick survey, then the agency will come up with a program that they think suitable to the people based on the quick appraisal, quick survey on the people. So that is all about this PRA. So that is a question posed by, it's a very technical question here by Mahinda. So if you don't have the PRA, do you think this is affect the sustainability of the approach of this technical assistant approach? Am I right, Mahinda?
Yes, Professor. Yes.
Yeah.
Because normally NGO is practicing this concept, but a lot of government institute is not following this kind of technique before they are going to serve their technology. So I want to know, is it effect to the technical approach when we are going to implement in the field? Thank you.
Okay. You want to respond, Emily?
Can you help me about this question?
Okay. All right.
Mm.
Later, I will touch on all these questions posed by you all. Yeah. Any more question? No more. Any of you have experienced or engaged yourself or being part of the technical approach? I mean, have you been experiencing using the approach, or you have is not experienced using the approach, but you have what do you call people have been using it and it effect on you, or you are receiving a technical approach, sort of yeah, you are receiving a technical approach being implemented on you. No
Okay.
response.
Okay, sir. Can I give an example?
Yeah.
Yeah, thank you. I still remember when I work for NGO in my place. At that time, we were working with the local teachers in developing environmental curriculum for the students at elementary and primary and elementary schools. So before we provide the teachers with expertise, we encourage the teachers to first, mapping the problems and challenges encountered by the teachers and students, promoting local awareness. So after mapping the challenges, then together we can see what actually the needs required by the teachers. So from the from the result, we then formulate the expertise that is required. For instance, the local teachers say that they did not have experience yet in drafting, the local curriculum based on the local context. So by knowing that, we finally provide the teachers with the workshop. We invite like professional in curriculum to give some background to the teachers, and later on, after the workshop, the local teacher then can organize themselves by using what knowledge and skills they got from the workshop. Thank you.
All right. So that means there are some elements of PRA in the way that you conduct the process to make change on the people, as what Amar has explained.
Moon also has an example.
Mm.
Oh, a question.
So what are the process of you do, Moon, in the rice checking components of the rice? What is it? So there are 10 components of rice check technology that the officer needs to guide the farmers. So does it consider as technical assistance approach? The background of your Moon, the background of your question there is not quite clear. What do you mean by are the officer guide the farmers to do the 10 component checking on the rice? Is the volunteerism is not considered in the technical approach? So what is the difference between coaching in technical approach and volunteer activity in anyone can answer the second question by Moon? Now all the practical question comes up already. It's good. Anyone can answer?
Uh, uh, in my perspective, it depends on the type of volunteerism. If the volunteerism is coming from the outside of the community group, then it could be considered as one of forms in technical approach, because then the volunteers from the outside will bring something from the outside of community groups, by hoping to to help the local members.
Okay.
Like for instance, if the volunteers see that the residents in a certain place need support, supports in the field of education, for instance, then they could provide the people with, for instance, with books, with other learning materials, etc.
All right.
Yeah, I think this is a kind of technical assistance. Moon as the expertise and the farmers are recipients of they are that's the roles of the technical assistance approach.
All right.
Mm-hmm.
You let me answer one by one of this question.
Mm-hmm.
Now, talking about volunteerism in self-help and voluntary organization in technical assistance approach, they are two different things. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Volunteerism in self-help approach, as I said in our last meeting, it is a internal act of voluntary work that you get involved in one activity,
Mm-hmm.
you participate actively, you contribute your times,
Mm-hmm.
even to some extent you donate money, so that you achieve what the common needs of your group, because you are being part of the committee members in self-help. For example, I still remember the example that I brought out in our last meeting concerning on the volunteerism in self-help. For example, clearing a sewage in a canal, for example, to clear the grass so that your smooth flow of water to avoid flooding. So you contribute your time, for example. Let's say the activity want to be held on Sunday. Sunday is your free day or your family day, your market day. But then you sacrifice your time, your precious time, to get involved with the community activity to clear up all this grass in the canal that disturb the flow of the water. That is your voluntary contribution, your time, your energy. Even to some extent, as I mentioned, you give some money to buy foods, to buy drinks for the participant. That is self-help, voluntary self-help. But mind you, in big organization, the NGOs, non-governmental organization, they also, in most of the time, they are applying technical assistance approach in developing their clients. And this depends what specialty is the NGO. Because NGO nowadays, they are specialized in certain areas. Yeah,
Yeah.
they have to specialize. When I say specialized, that means the staff or the volunteers, the label is volunteers in that NGOs. They are a skilled workers. Nowadays, they are skilled workers. The NGOs, well, the NGOs recruits volunteers, for sure. They recruit volunteers. But the volunteers has been categorized by levels. Yeah. One is skilled volunteers. Yeah. Skilled volunteers. Then semi-skilled volunteers. Then the commoners, the volunteers. Yeah. Those are without skills. But as I said, now many volunteers, they are specialized. Yeah. Even to some extent, they screen who want to be their members. Yeah, want to be their members. They screen. Now, what does it mean? It means that the capacity, the ability of the volunteers in NGOs is important. When you're talking about skills, that means you are being equipped by the technical know-how. Not only technical knowledge, but technical know-how. Know how to operate things. If you have been sent to certain areas to handle things.
Mm-hmm.
Let's say there is what you call tsunami or earthquake taking place in some part of the country or your neighboring country. Now, the NGOs who's going to give the service, they must have some specialties. Otherwise, your present, instead of giving helps, you are creating problems. Understand? So you need to have a skillful volunteers for that matter. Yeah. Now, this is why the question of, I hope you can differentiate between the volunteers
Mm-hmm.
in the self-help and volunteers in the standard, I mean in the
Technical approach.
Technical assistance.
in the real NGOs.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So nowadays, I repeat, the NGOs, the volunteers are well-trained NGOs. They are skilled NGOs. I mean, skilled workers lah. In the NGOs that facilitate the work to develop the people, as what has been described by Emily just now. Take for example, Mercy, Malaysian Mercy. Yeah. Now, who is the volunteers in that organization? They are doctors, paramedics,
Nurses.
teachers, yeah, nurses. These are even what do you call community workers, but it's not ordinary community workers. Also social workers. It's social workers that have experience handle things related to Mercy objective and mission. So when you have a technical skill, then the approach that you bring along to develop the people, to assist the people for that matter, in community development is very much technical in its approach. Now, coming back to part of the question asked here, sometimes, for example, what experienced by Moon here is that you assist, I mean, your supervisors, bring you down to the field to experience, yeah, how this extension work can be done. You yourself, well, is a student. I don't see that is real. Well, you voluntarily to go there to experience things, but the process in which your supervisors, as the technical person in the agency, or as a technical person with regards to the work he should be doing, by checking the what you call the 10 components of RISE check. There is a technology, I don't know what it's all about, that maybe your supervisors as a technical person, as a technical individuals, teach or explain or brief the paddy planters how to check the quality of your rice. For example, I'm not very much peculiar understand about this rice check. I'm just giving example. Is, let's say, to guarantee the quality of rice, these are the 10 components that you need to check. Your supervisors as a technical person teach and brief the farmers, the paddy planters, how to check this panel to come up with a certain standards. Now, that kind of briefing, that kind of what do you call a briefing or what do you call, what is the words, yeah, transforming information, yeah, technical information from you as a technical person to the clients. That is, we can call it as part of the technical approach. If you are a soil scientist, yeah, well, soil scientist is again a technical person. Yeah, you can teach the peasant, the farmers, yeah, to check their soil acidity. So how to check the soil acidity, how to reduce the acid of the soil. There are some technical ways to do it. Now, you teach your peasant, you teach your clients how to reduce the acidity. What are the things that to be put in the soil to reduce acidity and what not? So that is about technical approach.
Yeah.
What does all this mean? It means that in doing technical approach, the person, the officer, the individuals need to equip yourself with the knowledge. That is the question raised some by earlier just now. The capacity by Moon. You have to have a capability. Meaning here, when I say capability, you have, I mean, the extension or the technical person or the agent of change, yeah, whatever words, terms you want to use, they himself, she or he himself have to equip yourself with the knowledge. Now, there are so many knowledge, but you must be specialized. What are the knowledge? Is it about soil that I want to know? Just the example that I give just now, or are you specialized in hydrology? Yeah, those are the engineers, water engineers that manage the what do you call the water system management in the drainage system. Who else? Are you dealing with health, public health things? So you need to equip yourself. That's why, as I said, now it become very specialized, very specialized. Now, if you have those things, then that is about your capability as a technical person. And when you use that ability to help the people, you are using a technical assistant approach. That is where the terms comes. Technical assistant approach. Very technical, very specific. Yeah.
Mm.
Did I answer all the question? No. Similarly, that's why if you have the skill to do things, and you update yourself with all this advanced technology, then it's easy for you to play your role as change agent. And easy for you to coach your clients. Yeah, and this will ensure the sustainability of the TA assistant approach. That's why if you, I don't know, maybe Mahinda can confirm this. That's why in many extension works, yeah, extension works or extension departments, yeah, you are encouraged. Your boss will keep on asking you to update your skill, to go for training, yeah, to catch up with all this new technology. Why? Because you have to know all these things. Then only you equip yourself with all this new technology. You increase your capability as a resource person. Yeah, and then to disseminate the ideas, the know-how skills to the people, to the community. Yeah, you transfer all this technology, you transfer all this knowledge on the people, the client. Now, if you don't equip yourself with all these new skills, new information, yeah, then you are left behind. Then how can you help to improve the community? Because you are behind time. For example, yeah, for example, nowadays people are talking about Indonesia is very famous in this terminology, farming, pertanian precision farming. Have you heard about this precision farming? Those in agriculture? Moon? Precision farming, yeah. That means how can you ensure that your farmers can produce tomato of a right size, standard size, very precision, yeah.
Oh,
Yeah, or this cucumber, the size, the long is, for example, only
same size.
same size, exactly, same size, same color.
Mm-hmm.
How can you produce a watermelon that is square in shape? Yeah? Easy to put it on shelf. You know, those are about precision farming. Now, these are new technology in agriculture. Yeah. So if you as a agent of change, extension agent, if you don't have this knowledge and skill, now how can you teach your clients, yeah, to improve their production, so that at the same time when they sell their products they can get a good pay, good income. So those are the things. So what else? So do I, as extension researcher, should equip myself with technical knowledge? This is question from Moon. Well, as a researcher, no, you are not, because your role is as a researcher. You are researching on others' extension agent. Yeah, this is different thing, because don't forget you are using two hats now. Yes, you yourself is extension agent. Yeah, Moon. So you have to equip yourself with regards to certain areas that you want to measuring at.
Mm-hmm.
If let's say your specialty is on this orchid flower, but you are specializing in orchids. So as extension agent, 4 OCADs, then you have to what? You have to equip yourself with all the knowledge on these OCAD things, the breeding of OCADs, you know, those kind of stuff. For example, yeah. So what is the OCAD enemies, the bugs, and whatnot? It's very specialized. That is you as extension agent. But then now you are a researcher.
Yeah.
You using different hats. You are not looking. You are looking on the role. For example, you are looking on the role of extension agent. How effective is the extension agent? The general extension agent, for example, in your study. Yeah. So that is two different things. Yeah. Moon, I hope you understand. As a researcher, what are you now? Your aim is to what? What skill that you need to do is the skill as a researcher, not a skill as an extension agent. The skill of the researcher. Lain lah, different. Yeah. Skill as a researcher, apa? You must familiar about skill in terms of searching literature. You have to know your skill in SLR, systematic literature review, search. You should have a skill in developing questionnaire. How to develop a questionnaire? You should know what are the reliability, what are the validity aspect, what are the construct validity, you know, those kind of stuff. So this is the skill as a researcher. That does not only apply to Moon. It applies to all researcher. And also you should have skill with regards to Moon. You should have skill, knowledge on asking about the subject matter on extension agent. That is the point. You have the skill. You have to equip yourself with skill and knowledge with regards to the subject matter of what you want to study, that is about extension. Similarly, Amar, for example, if he want to study about environment, participation of the people, community in environment, he have to equip with the subject matter on environment and community engagement to sustain a good ecosystem, for example. So I think I answer Moon question just now. What else? So this question from Amar. Under what circumstances that the technical approach can be the only option in community practices, and why? This is a good question. Or do you think that it is impossible for the TA approach to be the only method? Well, as I said much earlier, I don't know whether I mentioned it here or somewhere else, is that the approach, any approach that we have to use, sometimes you can have only one approach and it sustains throughout the process of developing your people. But in some instances, you need to back up with other approach. Yeah. And sometimes also you start with A approach and you ended up with B approach. He can also like that. Yeah. So coming back to Ahmad question, under what circumstances or situation that the TA approach can be the only option of approach in community development? Now, this question, it goes back to the philosophy and assumption of the technical assistant approach. The philosophy and the technical assistant approach. Now, even though Amelia have introduced to us, there are two in TA approach, there are two types. There is non-developmental and the second one developmental. All right. Now, however, in both type, you have to understand the you have to understand the what do you call the general rules lah. I would say general assumption or prerequisite condition of applying this TA. Yeah? Now, what are the prerequisite condition or the general assumption of using this? Now, based on what Emily have explained to us, I hope all students have some kind of understanding the general principle of TA, of which the general principle is that TA can easily be implemented to a community that they don't have knowledge, they don't have skill, they don't have resources to improve themselves. This is where the TA can easily functioning. Yeah. So this is the general rule lah. Why? I mean, why is it like that? Because if the people, the community in that area they have skill, they have resources, they have brains. Yeah. Normally, and they have resources. What sort of resources? They can come up to improve themselves. Unless the community is very lazy, that different story. But as long as they have all these things, they can solve the problem by themselves. That's where the self-help approach works. Understand?
Yeah.
But when the problems is beyond the capacity of the people to handle it, yeah.
Then
When the situation of the community is beyond the capacity to handle it. For example, they don't have skill. They don't have material. They don't have knowledge to handle. Then TA can easily comes in. Okay. I mean that is the bottom line. Now, so how to explain this? How to explain this? I give you an example. If the community is poor, the livelihood is very bad, the health condition is worse. Yeah. How they can think? Do you think they have got time to think how to improve themselves?
no chance.
No chance. So that's why the government comes in. the agency comes in. The health department comes in to tackle on the health issue. Yeah, to reduce the mortality rate, to reduce the what you call the number of post antenatal and postnatal death, to reduce the number of reduce the incidence of malaria, of dengue, and whatnot. So that's where the health assistant comes in. You give talk to them, yeah, about this malnourished thing, yeah, malnourished in village, yeah, it's very high incident rate, yeah. So the health, the community health, public health expert will comes in and give a talk how to cook a balanced diet. Now, balanced diet does not mean you should have meat, mutton. No, it's not. You can get all these things within your local resources. Yeah, to have a balanced diet. But the only thing is that you have to impart knowledge on the community. What is balanced diet and what are the sources of balanced diet in the local community? Protein, for example, you can get it from the egg. Well, we don't have soya anyway in this region, so the substitute is egg, or the substitute is fish. Where can you get fish? Well, you can get fish in the paddy, sawah padi punya area, in the river. So they are source of protein. Or you can catch a bird. Well, some birds is edible for the Muslim. Yeah. So this is, and then for the green, there are so many greens behind our garden. Yeah. There are so many what you call ubi, apa orang putih kata, ubi kayu, this tapioca. Yeah. These are all source of carbohydrate and whatnot. So you need to teach your people. No, this is where, as I said, the technical person from the health sector will come in and give a talk, those kind of stuff. Educate the people. What else? On the economic activity, there's people like Mahinda and Moon, people from the extension. Yeah, if you are from extension working from the agriculture, then you can teach the people how to come up with this to plant crops, for example, 2-month crops. Yeah. I don't have any knowledge on that, so I cannot give a good example. Yeah. So these are the thing. Yeah. That what do you call that example whereby the technical assistant approach, when it is suitable to use technical assistant approach. That is one thing. Secondly, is the recipient, is the beneficiary. Yeah. Are they willing to accept you? Are they willing to accept you? Well, in community development, the big chunk of it we call it stakeholder. Yeah, big chunk of it we call it stakeholder. Now the stakeholder is normally the donors, the extension agent, the NGOs. Yeah. Who else? The local leaders. Don't forget the local leaders. These are the stakeholders.
The private sector.
Yes. The corporate sector, the private sector, who are involved or will be involved in improving the area, doing this, developing the community. Yeah. And don't forget also the NGOs, the local NGOs. Local NGOs, we call it CBOs, the terminology for it. CBOs, community-based organization. The local NGOs, yeah. So these are the stakeholders, including, don't forget, including the clients, the beneficiary.
Beneficiaries.
Yeah. That is the whole notion of the stakeholders in community development terminology. But then when we are talking about this beneficiary, we pull it aside, and these beneficiaries are the clients. The clients or the impacted community from the whatever process of development, yeah, initiated on them or initiated for them. Okay, so coming back to my last point just now. In technical assessment approach, beside having a good pools of resources that we call as technical resources, willing to help the community, willing to go to the community. But don't forget about the beneficiaries, the community that will as a group of people that will be impacted or affected by the TA resources just now. Now, are they willing to accept you? Are they willing to accept you? Now, that's why the terms Emilia is using just now, if I'm not mistaken, I jot down here the provider and recipient. Yeah, she used the word the provider and recipient. Now, the provider and the recipient are the recipient, the community that as the targeted group that you want to help. Are they easily open-hearted to accept us, to accept the agent, the change agent? Yeah, if they are welcoming you, then your work is relatively easy. Yeah, the you know, in there is a Malay proverb, bukan Malay proverb, what the always Malay say that the giving hands, yeah, it depends on the receiving ends, you know. If the receiving ends is welcoming whatever that you want to give to them, then it's easy for you to do your work. Otherwise, it create problem also. Yeah, in this technical approach. Okay, is there any more question? All right, I think I have answered all the question. Okay, one thing that you must remember, talking about this approach, is that have you heard about the top-bottom approach and bottom-up approach?
Yes, sir.
Top-bottom approach and bottom-up approach. Now, if you can imagine, these two approaches are in one dichotomy. On the right hand side or the right pole, you can put it, well, just put it on your right. On your right is the top-bottom approach. right hand side. Your right hand side is a top bottom approach, and your left hand side is bottom up approach. Okay. I repeat, sometimes I also can confuse myself. On your right hand side is top bottom approach, and your left hand side is bottom up approach. Okay, now self-help approach. Self-help approach is far on the left hand side. It's a bottom up approach. Self-help. On your right hand side is the top down approach, top bottom approach. This is where the technical assistant approach located. Now, these two approach, the bottom up approach on the left hand side and the top bottom approach on the right hand side, they are vast different. They are vast different. Now, the most important elements or factors that differ these two big approach is the community power. The community power. What I mean here, community power is not the strength of the community. It's not of the muscle of the community. I'm referring here as the decision-making power of the community with respect to the development process is different between the two poles. In bottom-up approach, the community power in deciding things, the process and whatnot, they are in control. Community decide everything. Yeah, community decide everything. And all this, the philosophy of it, later you can refer back to the metric that shown by Emily just now. The image of the community. So, in self-help approach, the power of the community, power of deciding things, what to do, when to do, how to do things, to solve their common problems, is all been decided in the community process. In the community process. The cooperation of the community, how they work together, how they, assist one another. That alone will show the power of the community. Okay. When I explain this, you don't get me wrong, When I say the power of community to handle things or whatnot, does not mean the whole community. For example, clearing, I'm coming back to my simple example, clearing the grass in the canals, in the drainage system. Not all community participate in it, but majority of the community living along the river, along the canals impacted by the flood, they will come together and handle it. If not everybody, well, majority. So this majority of the people decide when to do, which Sunday they want to come together, what time, who bring what, who do what, they decide. Who can, after the clearing, we need to have some drinks. Who's going to cook some mee goreng, you know, fried mee and tea, hot tea to prepare hot tea, you know, those kind of stuff. They arrange themselves. So that is the communityness in the process of developing themselves and also to achieve their common goal. Their common goal is to ensure that the flow of water is good in the drainage system, so that they are not facing flooding anymore. So they do it themselves. As compared to the top-down approach, and as shown in this technical assistance approach, yeah, technical assistance approach is the person who provide. These are the peoples that have power. The top. That's why you got top bottom. So in TA, you are talking about the provider and the receiver. So the provider is people from the top. Who are they? They are from the office, from the government department, from agency, from NGOs. They are people that have resources. They have power. They have resources. They have power. I mean, where they have resources, they have the knowledge, technical knowledge, and whatnot. So these are the top people. I mean, yeah, we call it the top. The bottom is the receiver. Receiver, as I explained to you in TA, what are the assumption? The assumption is that much earlier just now, as I mentioned to you, the philosophy or the assumption is that they don't have resources, they don't have knowledge, they don't have experience, they don't have skill. So they are
Lack of
they
capacity.
don't have power. Understand?
Yeah.
You all understand, yeah?
Yes.
They don't have power.
Mhm.
But you as the agency from for example, Mahindra, I don't know, maybe you're from agriculture department, Moon from RISDA, for example, Iza from Ministry of Health, Emily from women's department, and Ahmad from the environmental departments. Now you have all this power with you, power in terms of skill, in terms of knowledge that you have, in terms of resources that you have. You are going to impart, to give, to hand over, to inculcate all these knowledge, skills onto your people down here that they don't have resources, don't have power in terms of knowledge, in terms of skill and whatnot just now. So that's why you call it a bottom, that's why you call it a top-bottom approach. So TA is in this category, top-bottom approach. In most cases, especially the non-developmental activity. Refer back to the non-developmental activity that Emily have introduced to you all just now. That is I would say that is very much on the top bottom approach. However, those under the developmental activity, you refer back to the PowerPoint that that Amelie is present to us just now. The developmental activity of the technical assistance approach. That one have some degree to allow people to participate and share their concern, have some degree. What does it mean here? If you go back to the poll again, the two poll, I hope you can see my hand. You can see my hand here, the two pole. Your right hand just now is top bottom approach, where lies the technical assistant, and your left just now is your bottom up approach, lies the self-help approach category in this under the same category. Now imagine there is a line here. Imagine there is a line from the bottom approach and the bottom approach and the top bottom approach. There's a line. Now, very much near to the top bottom approach is the TA non-development activities. Very near to the pole. Now, slightly towards, I didn't say towards the end of it, towards the center, probably the center of this between the two poles is the developmental activity, even though they're still under the technical approach, which is situated in the top bottom approach. Why I say is going to the center? Because you have some degree allowing community to participate. Refer back to Emily's PowerPoint just now. In other words, my dear student, that's why I say, in a real world, you can start with a bottom, purely top bottom, and then slowly we can go down towards the left hand side. If when this takes place, when this can happen, it can happen when the peoples that you have developed, you have trained them, they have developed their capacity, they are now become a learned community. They are develop their skills. They know where to get resources. Yeah, and slowly they can handle themselves. You teach them how to, for example, you teach them how to check the acidity of the soil, and then how to treat the soil, and from there they know what is the best crops to be planted, and then you teach them how to do the post-harvesting. Yeah, they have knowledge to do the post-harvesting. They know how to wrap, how to search for a good market, how to diversify their product, how they can give value added to their product, and then they know how to and then slowly they can come up with their own cooperation, association, cooperation. Yeah, farmers cooperation. Koperasi apa in English?
Cooperative.
Cooperative, yeah. You come up with their own cooperative, then they can manage themselves. You see? So you may start with a very top bottom approach, and slowly over the years, they can the peasant, the community, the farmers can take care of themselves. So they are on their self-help. So that's why community development is not overnight activity. Community development is not a month or two process. Yeah, it's a long process. So I hope you have a better understanding now on this technical assistant approach. for example, as what Ammar have shared with us in his experience just now, and if you can recall back in the first meeting that we have, first class, the way that these NGOs assist the community, that is what you call resemble the or reflect the technical assistant developmental activity approach. If you can recall back what Hamad I said, because he teach, and then the teachers, and then the teachers, the local teachers, and his organization do some discussion, yeah, whereby the local people have contribution
Mhm.
to the whole program. So that is very much related to the TA developmental activity approach. The second part, not the non-developmental. Yeah, non-developmental is very much just a straight jacket approach. Just follow the order.
Yeah.
There is nothing on the developmental side of it. Okay.
Mhm.
Very clear.
Yes. Thank you, Professor.
Any more question? All right. This thing is being recorded, isn't it?
Yes.
Amar, last time, how did you disseminate your recording video?
After saving the file,
Uh-huh.
I compressed it first, Prof, because the size was too large.
Uh-huh. And then you email to us.
Yes.
Everyone have tried to open that one?
Yes.
You got it?
Yes, go.
I tried, but I couldn't. I don't know why. Never mind. Never mind.
WhatsApp. WhatsApp mana? Dalam WhatsApp pun ada.
Dalam WhatsApp.
Tak, recordingnya.
Oh, recording.
Di WhatsApp
Email.
tu cuma presentasi je.
Email.
Lewat email.
As long you all can what do you call, access to it, that's okay. I retry lah nanti Amar punya. So okay, Emily, I think what you need to do also just like follow like what Amar have done previously. You email us. First is the PowerPoint that you have, and then the next one is the recording today.
Okay.
As I told you,
Word. I should submit the Word of the PowerPoint, the Word version.
sorry.
The summary in Word.
Summary in Word.
Yeah, I remember you said it before.
Yes. Summary.
Yeah.
The presentation summary.
Yes. Okay. The summary, you can add the summary, adding those questions raised by your friends, and also the answer to the question.
Oh, okay.
Okay. That will help to enhance your presentation.
Mm.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Okay. Because your presentation and also your write up, the summary, is the 30% of the evaluation that we have agreed upon. Yeah.
Mhm.
So
Okay.
so take this serious because um, it's a 30% mark. Your presentation, your PowerPoint, and also the summary of it. Okay.
Do I need to share the summary to all the students?
Yes, please.
Okay.
Everything in my class is not secretive.
Okay.
We are adult learners. We learn together.
Okay.
Okay. That's one thing. So we have done our part on this 2-week classes. I don't know, it's up to you whether to continue the class online. We have met the requirement of the university to have 2 classes during this MCO until 24th of May. So in other words, we are ahead of time by 1 week. Today is 11. Yeah. So next week we have 1 whole week. So who will be presenting in the next coming week? I mean, not really next week on 18. I mean, after this, who's going to present?
Mahendra.
Yes.
Mahendra. Okay.
Conflict approach.
Conflict approach.
Yeah. So
Conflict approach.
What?
so never mind, Mahendra. At the moment, you continue preparing your presentation. Yeah. We have yet to receive
Okay.
instruction from the university whether student can come to
Okay.
university and we can have back our face-to-face presentation. I mean, in the class, provided that, well, we have to wait from the university.
Yes.
There are so many arrangements need to be handled before that. You know, if you are in the class, you know how big is the class, the distance. Yeah,
What meeting?
six of us, social distancing. Is it okay or not? You know, we have to listen from the instruction given from the university. Then we'll decide. Or if you would like to have your presentation next week, for example, any day that we all agree, I'm okay. We are advanced in 1 week for that matter in terms of class, because according to the last instruction, a
19.
student will join the university but after the
Raya.
Raya break, that is 1 June.
Tapi PKP kan dah sambung lagi.
Yeah. So again, thank you. But the PKP MCO is extended until 9 June. So there are so many uncertainties, yeah, regarding face-to-face classes. But then, as I said just now, if you are ready, all of you are ready, agree to go ahead with these online classes. For example, next week, let's say I didn't force. Let's say Mahinda want to present, and all of us agree with that, so we can have it. If not, then we have to read the day. That's depend on the instruction given by the universities regarding face-to-face classes. Yeah,
Prof,
I hope
we
you
will
all.
see you on this Wednesday, right? We will have a class
So-
with you on this Wednesday, right?
No, we done it today.
Next week.
No, Prof punya kelas. Kan hari ni
This
Emily yang
Wednesday.
present.
Yelah kira
Sorry?
sama lah kan?
Sorry.
Lain ke?
I'm just asking if we have class on Wednesday, this Wednesday.
No.
No. Okay. Noted.
Because
The one that I'm suggesting just now is the next presenter is Mahinda. Now, if it's up to we all to decide if you want to have it next week, then we can have it next week. That means we are 1 week in advance in terms of classes.
Okay, Prof.
Ah,
It's no problem for me.
but among yourself, you arrange among yourself, yeah.
Okay.
And then let me know because
Next week.
starting on the 24th of May until the 31st of May, 24th of May until 31st of May, that
Raya.
is your semester break,
Oh,
official semester break.
okay.
That one we cannot disturb because 24 is Sunday and that is inshallah the first Raya. The Muslim are celebrating the Eid al-Fitri on the 24th. And then start 25th Monday right down to the 31st of May. That is your what do you call
Semester break.
official semester break.
I see.
And then we have to hear from the universities. Yeah, as I said just now, when is the face-to-face? If they postpone the face-to-face, then that means we have to carry out our online classes like this. Okay.
Okay, Prof.
Okay, I think that's all from me today. Anything else from you? Okay, I think that's all. Thank you.
Thank you, Prof.
Thank you.
Thank you. Bye. We can dismiss now.
Thank you, Emily.
Thank you.
thank you, Emily.
Thank you, Emily.
Thank you.
Okay, Assalamualaikum. Bye. Emily have to wait first lah. We leave first.
Okay.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye, Moon.
Jap. Iza, macam mana?
Apa?
Jadinya yang 18 nak minggu yang